Well, hello guys. My name is Danny Deals. Thank you for tuning in to Un Poco Mas, the show where we give you just a little bit more. I dragged myself out of bed on a beautiful Sunday. It is April 30th, 2023. It's about noon out here in Los Angeles, and I came in to give you an update on a couple of my most favorite stocks. Today, I want to talk to you about NIO, ticker symbol NIO. As most of you NIO investors know, um, Danny Deals is long the stock. I have been for quite some time. Um, I believe that NIO is future proofing themselves and is building a very solid foundation at the expense of short term deliveries and short term stock pumps. That's why I like the stock. I continue to accumulate it. If you look at the price action, Neo's down under $8. It was down another dime on Friday. It's trading at $7.87 and was flat after hours. If you remember, this stock was well up over $50 just 2 years ago, and the fall from grace has been epic. If we see, you know, January 2021, we're at 57, and then 53 in June, back up to 40 in November. The stock popped back to 22 in June of 2022, and then it's just been fallen and traded sideways for probably, the last, traded sideways and bled slightly down for the last 8 months or so. Um, a lot has been made recently of the lack of production in from Neo and the lack of vehicle registrations. I just want to say that things aren't always as they seem. You're like, oh, they can't sell cars. There's no demand. Um, that's not really what's going on, in my opinion. Neo made some mistakes. They rolled out some models too fast. There were some production issues. Wait times got too long. Customers got fed up and canceled the order. That was particularly a problem with the ET7 sedan. And then, so they've already revamped the ET7. They're actually launching the ES6 earlier than they had anticipated. So Neo is actually doing very, very well, hitting their goals. It's just production has been very, very low. That has absolutely destroyed the stock price, as has the sort of geopolitical tensions. I believe with China, Taiwan, you couple that with the tight money supply. Their margins suffering, the EV price war with Tesla, the rapid acceleration of BYD, just a lot of things going against the NEO stock price, and the stock price obviously has been absolutely hammered. But just lately, a lot of good news that people say, "Hey, Danny Deals, you're just a big fat idiot. All you do is read CNEV Post and go through the stories, and you don't really know anything." And I mean, okay. I mean, it's a little harsh, but you might have a point there. Anyway, CNEV Post, April 29th. NEO plans launch EV price below 30,000 euros in Europe. NEO aims to grab market share from Volkswagen by introducing a model priced below 30,000 euros. Um, this is really important. Just noting that NEO plans to go after Europe. They're launching a sub brand, a more affordable model that I believe is supposed to start delivery in 2024 or 2025, perhaps. But for now, they're actually building a Neo. I believe that's what they're talking about. That is going to compete directly with Volkswagen. Um, there's basically two sub brands they're working on, Alps and Firefly. The Firefly project is also in the planning stage and will be delivered first to European consumers. A smaller model of Neo is in development and will debut in Europe and will expected to be available in the third quarter of 2024. A source told CNEV Post on January 31st that Neo's F4 plant for the Firefly project will be located in Chushuao in Hua province. I'm sorry I butchered those names. My Chinese, not only it's not terrible, it doesn't even exist. So I was just pulling that accent out of some kind of a you know 1980s movie. But no offense to Chinese people. If you want to tell me down in the comments that I'm an idiot and how to pronounce these words properly, I will certainly try to do so in the future. And thank you for watching, all my Chinese friends. In any case, the F4 plant will also assemble vehicles for the Firefly project and produce some parts. Blah blah blah. So basically, they're they're building two new plants, one in Neo Park, one in another city. The Neo Park sub brand will be codenamed Alps, which will be mid and high end, and then the Firefly project will be a lower end brand. So Neo, I like. I thought the two sub brands were too many, but if you're talking about really covering the whole market where you can compete and beat Volkswagen, you can beat Mercedes, it's extremely ambitious. But I like it. I mean, I like the moxie. I like the, it's a swagger. And this company's saying like, look, we're not worried about next month's deliveries. We're worried about in 5 years being a legitimate dominant player in the EV space, not only in China but in Europe as well. And I know they're looking to move into America, but that has not taken shape just yet. Another article, April 29, 2023, CNEV Post again, where I lift all my content. I love you guys. If I can do anything for you, me and my 6 viewers, I'd be happy to. You can look at any of mine you want, but I try to editorialize on this enough to make it at least reasonable. NIO's single day battery swap service hits record high on Labor Day Eve. You can see battery swap service count. They went from an average on the highways of like 8,000 swaps to more than double that, 16.5 thousand swaps, and then overall swaps, average in the 40,000 went up over 62,000. So 62,000 battery swaps performed in a single day is a really good number. And then sort of following on to that, you can see April 26th, NIO sees cumulative user mileage exceed 10 billion kilometers. So Tesla talks a lot about data and how they're gathering data. I know that's absolutely nothing compared to Tesla's miles, but it is a significant milestone that user mileage has exceeded 10 billion kilometers. And they estimate that this equates to a reduction of 1.07 million tons of carbon emissions and saving customers about RMB 7 billion in energy costs. So, EVs not only good for the planet, good for the consumer's pocketbook, just a good thing overall, the transition to EV. And then another critical article, again from CNEV Post, shockingly, April 28, 2023, Fate Zhang, you are the man, sir. Um, I assume it's a man. I don't know Chinese names that well, but if Fate Zhang is a woman, my apologies, and you have an equal amount of respect for me either way. NIO begins deliveries of EC7 Coupe SUV early than originally planned. So the EC7 was launched NIO Day 2022. December 24th, 2022, and planned to begin deliveries in mid May, but they're already delivering the vehicle, which is totally awesome. NIO is the only company I see with a broad product line in the EV space where things come out early or on time and they're actually delivering it to consumers ahead of schedule. So began the first deliveries. EC7 officially kicked off April 28th. NIO didn't announce the number of EC7s delivered, but the company held delivery ceremonies in cities including Haifei, Shenzhen, Guiheng, Wuhan, Hangzhou, Zhuhu, Taozhou, and Nanjing. And again, I do apologize about my Chinese pronunciations. God awful, but did the best I could. EC7 again was launched. The new ES8 was also launched at the same event. NIO planned that the deliveries would begin in May and the ES8 would begin in June. The NIO began allowing customers to test drive on April 10 and book orders on April 10. The early start of the EC7 deliveries could be part of NIO's effort to accelerate making its new models available and boost weak sales. NIO delivered 10,000 vehicles. We already know this stuff. NIO sales have been weak. Their deliveries have been weak. The EC7 is NIO's second coupe SUV after the EC6. It's slightly, basically, just a little bit smaller than the other model. Obviously, the EC6, the EC7 is the bigger model. NIO offers its intelligent dimming glass option with the EC7's roof. That's a cool thing. First time they've offered that. EC7 has a wind resistance coefficient of just 0.23 CD, which NIO said is the lowest of any mass produced SUV in the world. The model is equipped with either a 180 kilowatt permanent magnet motor and so they're getting 480 kilowatts of power in the drivetrain and allows it to accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers in 3.8 seconds. making it NIO's fastest accelerating SUV. Which, if you know anything about like gas SUVs, that's absurdly fast. That's like what a Ferrari was a couple years ago. So it's just absurd. You get like supercar performance for like 50, 60 grand in a family moving SUV. It's just crazy. But that's the technology. It marches forward and it's amazing. So NIO currently offers three versions of the EC7 with a 75 kilowatt standard range battery pack. Um, it also offers a version with a 100 kilowatt battery pack and a premier version also with 100 kilowatt battery pack. So the price is anywhere from 70,000 on up, depending what battery you choose. So I think that's very competitive with the equivalent vehicles from Mercedes and BMW, probably cheaper than their electronic equivalents if they even had said vehicles available. Customers who choose NIO's battery rental program purchase the car at RMB 418,000 for both versions and RMB 450,000 for the premier version. Because obviously, the first two versions, the only difference is the size of the battery pack, 75 versus 100. So there's going to be no difference if you're just leasing the battery. In any case, guys, just a bit of an update there on NIO. Why were deliveries so low? I think it's because they've been retooling. They've been trying to get these new vehicles all switched over to the NT 2.0 platform. They've been preparing the 3.0 platform, breaking ground for two sub brands, getting their vehicles launched in Europe, trying to build 1,000 new battery swap stations. They're already rolling out the 3.0 battery swap stations. They have numerous new partnerships online with China Materials. Just went over 100 battery swaps. They built with Sinopec. They're partnered with Shell to build battery swap in Europe. They got a new, just on and on and on. If you want to see about their partnerships, look at my last video. I'm not going to link it down in the description. I don't care. You guys can make a little effort for yourselves. I'm not trying to sell you anything, and frankly, I don't care if you watch my last video, but if you want to watch it, you can go ahead and try to find it. Use the Google, ask Jeeves. I don't really care, but if you want to watch that bad boy, you're going to have to dig it out because I am certainly not going to link to it for your lazy butt. But in any case, I want to thank you for watching my video, just looking at the price action. Um, we've been in this channel. If we want to break out of this channel, need to first respect this support line. You know, this channel we're wedging hard both on a 5-year line and a 2-year line, coming to a head right here. If you want to break out, you have to break above like would be 16 or 17, just depending on when the breakout comes. And I don't see any big you know, I don't see any big catalyst for that right now. I think if deliveries start to accelerate a little bit, you'll see, moving back up into this channel. But I think you need some big news, some real news to go ahead and break out above this level. And, been caught in this channel for, I don't know, the last 4 months. And, it's been the stock is actually being heavily shorted. Let me zoom back out so I can pull up this short interest. The short score on NIO is 63. The short interest is 8.52% of the free float. That's up 21% in just the last 7 days. Percent of free float on loan is 16.39. That's up 18% in the last 7 days. Shares on loan 220 million. That's up 20% in the last 7 days. Days to cover 5, up from 4. It's 18%. Cost to borrow 0.8. It's up 5%. And the utilization is 40.6%, up 17.34%. Now, there's not going to be any short squeeze on NIO because there are just a ton of shares on this stock. But there is a very significant short, and the short interest has increased a lot in the last couple of weeks, and that's because deliveries have been horrible, and the market values these EV stock. They put the stock price on by basically the deliveries they're making, and fair or unfair, NIO has more models. They're more diverse. They're building vertically integrated company with superior technology, so they're not shooting for short-term deliveries, but because that's how the markets value these stocks, NIO has been absolutely hammered, I believe somewhat unfairly, but that's the way it is. You either have to execute and deliver, or your stock is going to get absolutely dumped on. So that's what's been happening with NIO. I believe with solid performance, if the deliveries pick back up as I expect them to, we will break through that 16 to 17 range, break out of that trading channel that we've been in, and get something positive going. But the week ahead, if the deliveries are still very, very low, the next week's registrations come out, expect NIO to probably get, pushed back down to our support line and be trading back down in the mid sevens this week. If we get some good news, again, could certainly pop at any moment. The short interest has increased quite a bit and could provide some additional buying pressure. So, again, it's Sunday, April 30th. It's about noon. My name is Danny Deals. I want to thank you for watching Un Poco Mas. For executive producer Hurricane Lopez, hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a great week ahead. Wish you best of luck in all of your investments, and thank you for watching Un Poco Mas.